All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Jen, would you take roll, please?
Commissioner Corbin,
Here.
Commissioner Johnson,
Here.
Commissioner Waldner,
Here.
Commissioner Fell,
Here.
and Mayor Lindsay.
Here. You have before you this evening's agenda.
Make a motion, we approve the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Appearances and acknowledgements, seeing none. Is there anything anyone wants removed from the consent calendar?
Motion to approve the consent calendar. Excuse me.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Seeing no old business, under new business, first reading of ordinance number 1583, appropriations for 2017. And I'll ask Jen if you'd like to address that.
I shall. Ordinance number 1583. Do note that the municipal funds are located along the top of your page, with the departments and the accounts listed along the left-hand side of the page. I will make every attempt to go through this as slowly as possible. You need me to whoa or back up, give me a holler, okay, please?
Okay?
Section 1 encompasses page 1, 2, and 3 of your ordinance. It details our anticipated expenditures for year 2017. Some larger items to note. In the general fund, which is the first column there of your worksheet, in the general fund, we'll have a shop building addition for about $250,000, parallel taxiway 2 design, and the purchase of the wetland credits at our airport for $405,000. And then also the library, online subscriptions, ebooks, and audio visuals will total about $121,500. In the second and third cent sales tax fund, which on your worksheet is going to be your lodging and entertainment tax, and then your second cent sales tax. The Chamber of Commerce, you have decided to award a contribution of $80,000. And then the Lake Area Improvement Corporation will get their normal $140,000. Those both are in the lodging and entertainment tax fund. Moving into the third cent sales tax fund, that will be your Lake Area Improvement Corporation Forward Madison contribution for $120,000. Lake County 911 dispatch services, our share of the dispatch services, budgeted $140,000. Seal coating project for the summer, $129,000. We'll have a water main replacement that will be funded by second cent sales tax dollars to the tune of $322,000. And then a sewer boring project along Garfield Avenue for $128,000. Now, these numbers that I'm rattling off as far as larger projects are encompassed in these total numbers here for these funds, okay? A few more here I'd like to mention is in the third cent sales tax and then also the special maintenance fee. We will have dollars allocated from both of those funds that will do a resurfacing project for Northeast 3rd Street and Division to the airport road. Will total $276,000. And then the electric fund. So these, if you find your electric column here, you should be able to follow a lot of these. LED lighting improvements, $100,000. The upgrade improvement project for year 2017 is budgeted at $635,000. They have numerous boring projects, of which they will accomplish for $89,000. And then some new items this year in the electric fund would be a demand reduction program advancement and also an opportunity fund. The total of those two new items listed under improvements is $110,000. So those are the larger project expenses that we will anticipate seeing during year 2017. Purchase power from Heartland and WAPA, along with transmission fees from Heartland and East River, are expected to cost nearly $6.5 million. That is 27% of our total budget. Page 3. Go with me to page 3. Along the left-hand side there, just a little ways down, you will see the debt service. So page 3 lists our numerous debt service payments. You'll see our debt service for 2017 will total $1.4 million as compared to 2016's debt service of $1.8 million. That is lower due to the anticipated payoff of the Electric Revenue Refunding Series 2010, which will start working in the next week here or so of paying that off. And then also the refinancing of the General Obligation Series 2016 bonds. So the debt service payments will go from $1.8 million this year down to $1.4 million. Continuing on down the page here, you'll also see the transfers between the departments at $1.2 million. Additions to the capital outlay and accumulations and or the capital replacement or depreciation accounts, which we more commonly call our designated reserves, will total over $1.2 million. Then let me draw your attention to the total appropriations and accumulations. So page 3, about 3/4 of the way down, the double-lined items there, your total appropriations and accumulations, which is actually your total budget expenditures, $23,872,480. That is a decrease of over $4 million from our current 2016 budget, largely contributed to a smaller airport improvement project and no South Dakota Department of Transportation project coming through town in 2017. Expenditures. Questions on expenditures? Section 2, pages 3 and 4 of your ordinance details our anticipated revenue for 2017. I budgeted a total of $3 million in sales tax, $1.5 million in both the general and second cent funds, which is down a total of $50,000 from this year's budget. I'm going to back off on that expected sales tax revenue just a little bit for 2017. Also, sales tax, $170,000 in the third cent, which is your lodging and entertainment. That will remain the same as budgeted in 2016. A 1.92% growth percentage, but a 0% CPI should afford us over $1.7 million in general fund property taxes, which is an increase of about $33,000 from this year. An additional $321,000 will be collected from residents to pay for the Madison Aquatic Center swimming pool debt service. We also will expect to receive about $305,000 from Lake County for our share of the motor vehicle licenses. Special maintenance fee, the front footage fee that we adopt per resolution every year, is expected to generate about $224,000 again in 2017. You'll remember we didn't make any adjustments to that resolution, so we anticipate collecting the same amount in 2017 as in 2016. As for operating revenue in our utilities, that would be on page 4, the second line item down, miscellaneous and then operating. So as for operating revenue in our utilities, we have discussed minimal rate increases planned for year 2017, and we'll discuss those in further detail when we read those rate ordinances in the coming weeks. But you'll see that we expect to collect $1.7 million in water revenue, $10.2 million in electric revenue, and $1.4 million in sewer revenue. Again, you'll see the listing of transfers between the departments totaling that same $1.2 million that we referenced above, along with $366,000, which is the monthly payment received from Basin Electric for the generation plant. We anticipate using about $380,000 in designated reserves, meaning reserves applied. Reserves are designated reserves that we're going to burn basically in year 2017. That is down. In 2016, we budgeted $800,000. But of those reserves, we intend to use a shop building reserve and also additional dollars from the community center repair and maintenance reserve. questions on revenue? Section 2 revenue.
Is the unexpended balance, building reserves in other areas?
Nope, that's next, Corbin, hang on.
Thank you.
You're welcome, thank you. Okay, so now note the unexpended balance and the increase in the unexpended balance. Do you see those? They're way towards the bottom of section 2 there, okay? The unexpended balance, the $485,771, that is the operating cash that we've agreed to put towards the 2017 budget. But remembering that that unexpected balance includes dollars that we're moving from our operating cash into our capital outlay accumulations, or more commonly called our designated reserves. So it's not truly cash spent, it's more of a transfer between the liquid cash and the designated cash. So as we stated earlier, we intend to move $1.5 million into these designated reserves. The increase in unexpended dollars, the bottom line item there, are the dollars that we assume to generate in 2017. So $527,509 is what the revenue that we expect to generate next year, most of which, as you will see, is in our second cent fund, which we tend to do. You know, we accumulate money in that second cent fund and save it for future projects, and then it's spent on future capital improvement projects. Okay? After all of that, your total appropriations and accumulations from page 3, balance to your total means of finance minus that unexpended balance on page 4, once again reflecting a total budget of $23,872,480 for our calendar and fiscal year 2017. Section 3, page 4 of your ordinance reflects the tax levy to the county auditor for general purposes, and then also the general obligation bond series 2007, which is the swimming pool debt service money. Finally, section 4, which is page 5 of your ordinance, notes the reading, publication, and effective dates, and will contain the official signatures. A
Now-
lot of numbers, a lot of information.
That last number you read, 23 something, I didn't find that matching what was on this sheet. 23,
You have to take your, so go to page 3, Roy,
all right?
total appropriations and accumulations.
Got it. Okay, I was on
Double
page 4.
23.
Yep, nope, I
Okay.
see it.
Yep, now if you take that 24,399
Yep,
minus the 527, because that's the revenue we anticipate generating, that's gonna give you that
That gives it.
23,872,
got it.
okay? That's how
Mhm.
your ordinance balances out. What else can I answer?
Mr. Corbin, you have any questions?
No,
Okay.
not at the moment.
Anyone at the table?
Yeah, is it really, I would really like to see us put a hold on all new buildings, and that includes the structure down here at the gardens where we're talking about softball diamonds and soccer fields, and Fred's building out there, and the one over here and out to the airport. I'd like to see us put that on hold for a year, all new buildings, and us commissioners sit down and take a serious look at our wants and our needs. Do we need all these new buildings that they're building, or do we just have excess equipment that we need to surplus and get it out of here? I just think it's a added expense to the taxpayers to keep building when we got City Armory that needs tuck pointing. We got to take care of City Hall here, the library, and Brad's electrical building. It comes a time where you got to repair instead of excuse me, instead of build. when the people don't have the money to pay it, comes a time where you gotta stop. It's just a food for thought. I'd like to see.
I guess
us-
I wouldn't go for a moratorium on everything, because then you find yourself hampered maybe somewhere in the middle
Just
of the
for a
year.
year, so we can sit down and say, okay, we want this, do we need it? Our wants and our needs, and draw a line in the middle and say, yeah, we need it, or no, we don't. It's just a food for thought.
I wouldn't be totally opposed to, leaving where we're at with the budget, because we don't have to spend it,
Yeah,
but before we turn a shovel on any new building, I think you're absolutely right. I think us four commissioners, we need to sit down and get a better grip on this, because we can't afford to maintain the armory the way we were supposed to. I mean, Chad worked a pretty slick deal, and so we got kind of halfway, and I mean, if we can't even afford to take care of our buildings we have now, that we shouldn't be looking to be building new buildings and more buildings, and, you're right, Brad's building, and, I mean, I drive by there, I see the windows all busted out, and the mayor said he walked down there, slammed the door, and glass about fell on him, so, I mean, that's.
And I'm fearful of it.
Yeah, I mean, we have tuck pointing and bricks that fall off of City Hall. I mean, they're gonna end up hitting somebody, and so I think we do need to sit down as a commission and determine what are we gonna do with our buildings, and part of that just rolls into just space management, and I don't know if that means we get some citizens to come in and help us look at different things as well. But
I would agree with Mike, leave it in the budget.
Yeah.
But before the monies are spent,
but then
take a look at it
we
then.
just can't go ahead and build it. I forgot the water treatment plant, disposal plant too. I don't know what that looks like out there, if it needs tuck pointing or anything, but that's two more buildings that we need to take care of, because we own them and we gotta take care of it.
yeah, I mean, Firehouse, they've had,
Yeah,
some problems with their roof, and hopefully we got some of that fixed, but, I mean, they're aging buildings, just like some of the trucks inside. I mean,
yeah.
we're gonna have a $700,000 bill for some trucks here pretty soon
Yeah.
too.
All right, questions or comments? Kelly?
I'm fine with the budget the way it is, providing that we may need to do some things. I think at the end of the day, if we think there needs to be more planning done, and I agree with that, I mentioned that a couple of weeks ago, that we talked about, we ought to get a assets management for our building going, some sense of where we're going over time. I don't think there's any reason they can't budget for things, with the idea that at the end of the day, this commissioner is responsible for saying yes or no, we will or won't proceed with whatever's in there, so.
And the
you know,
larger ticket items, if I may, you're going to have to physically approve here anyway,
Yep.
if they hit the bid, so you're gonna have another opportunity, especially on those larger ones.
I think it's a legitimate concern, Bob, and
is.
the rest of it, but I just, on the other side of the coin, we still have the last say whether we proceed on anything or not. But I think Mike's comment, and Jeremiah said it before, I think we really need to start doing some planning on our maintenance and our buildings and what our needs are, which isn't to say I'm obstructing anything or holding on, to say what the schedule almost of what's next. It's almost like an IPP for building maintenance,
Yep.
Or
Nope.
improvements,
So,
excuse me.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead, Mr. Corbin.
I think it's prudent that we're putting money aside for buildings. Maybe we'll take a second look at some of them, but nonetheless, it's nice we are able to put some money aside for them. So, with
Sounds,
that, I'll make a motion to approve first reading of ordinance number 1583, appropriations for 2017.
Second.
we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Hi.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Second reading, 2 weeks from today, I will have hard copies for you available that day.
And just for those at home, and that date will be 26th? I'm adding 14 to 12.
Yep, thank you.
All right. All right. With that, seeing no announcements in that, I will now declare us in executive session.
About a motion.
Yeah, I'll move to, I think we have to have a motion.
Please.
To executive session, move into executive session.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right.